I'm right here at Nelson Island, and this Nelson Island was the place where the Indian indentured labor, which was either forced or brought by fraudulent means or lured up to this place, was given a medical checkup. And this used to be the Marian Hospital, where the checkups would be made. Many Trinidadians have told me here that the persons who used to be sick, they were not treated, but they were thrown in the ship. And with me is Mr. Kumi. Mr. Kumi is the project manager for this island, which is now being declared as a historical, heritage site. And he has been managing it. He was so nice to show us around, explain us everything about this island and all. So, Mr. Kumi, tell me the heritage importance of this island.
The island has many purposes in terms of the heritage and history of Trinidad and Tobago. Firstly, it was used by the first peoples, the Amerindians, as part of their they're creating that community within the Caribbean islands. So from Venezuela mainland, they would come across to Trinidad as the first island and the stepping stones up the Caribbean. So the Caribbean civilization of this region by the first people started here, from Trinidad onto Nelson Island and then up the islands. So that's the genesis of Nelson Island and its importance. But therein, the colony, as it was, changed hands from British to Spanish, and in each instance, Nelson Island was the main garrison, the fort, to protect the capital, Port of Spain, from the warring parties, because all the islands within the Caribbean changed hands so frequently between British, French, Portuguese, and how the island, Trinidad mainland, was protected was from Nelson Island.
Kumi, you were mentioning something that when the Indian indentured labor started coming here, first they were medically examined in Port of Spain itself.
Yes, so the area where we have the existing, where the lighthouse is in Port of Spain, where the St. Vincent Jetty was, that's where the first ships would have had the first set of inspections and records being kept. But the inhabitants of Port of Spain area, they actually rebelled to the fact that they had these new people in the space, and they were making, the claims were that they were making the island and the capital itself dirty. I don't think it's that. I think it's more of, different peoples and the clash of the cultures and a hint of racism.
Right.
But then they had the colonial powers actually have the East Indian immigrants come, and the processing being done on Nelson Island. So Nelson Island became the hub for that immigration processing, similar to what happens at
So what exactly was done here? The indentured labor was brought by ships?
So they would come, the large ships would be there.
Okay,
that's
that side in the sea.
Area.
Okay.
Yes. And then here would have barracks around this silk cotton tree, but this is there's original photos with the silk cotton tree, the immigrants being around there, that rock formation there. So here would have been barracks area. That area there would have been the mess hall where the meals would have been prepared. And this would have been this would be the administration building, the 1802 building.
Okay. And this was the Madison...
Right, so this was the Marian Hospital. These are the ruins of the hospital. This is where they would have the checkup being done. The sick would have been taken care of here. And they would have stayed here for a couple of days. Then they would have been let on to the...
And you mentioned something about the segregation of men and women over here.
Right, yeah. So women would have been kept on Lenegan Island.
Oh, that's the island.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Lenegan Island is also the first island during colonial time, during British rule. They were not... cremations were not allowed on the
mainland.
On the mainland. So in keeping with the culture and with the religion, the East Indians would have had their cremation on the island, but they would have had to, for that bill, you would have had to get a boat, come across. But because it was not allowed on the mainland, this is the only place where it could have been.
Okay.
So this is the first.
And what would they do to those who were found sick on the...
Right, so they would stay here for a while, and then they would basically get them onto the estates. But it
no, but those who were found sick, who were not...
well, they kept them on the island.
Okay.
And because they couldn't have had them mixed with the...
because there was something which was mentioned that many a times when those who were sick were thrown out into the sea also.
That's possibly on the journey. We're not too sure because records of that wouldn't be properly kept.
Okay.
Yes,
because I have the story from one professor from UV only, Jenkins. who boasted that his father used to boast this thing, that
Yeah.
all the Wasik were thrown
So
into
we
the
probably
sea.
heard of that, but the records wouldn't show that. But yes, we have heard of instances.
So how are you developing this place now?
Right. So what we intend is to create it's basically being developed somewhat how we have the indentureship story being told. We have displays within the island. We have an East Indian upstairs. We have basically we expose what was the life at and the estates, what were the contributions of the East Indian community to the island. And on the island itself, we have different aspects of, we will say, museum houses,
Okay.
where we have different displays based
Okay.
on the different aspects of the island.
Okay. I believe the Indian High Commission also held a function here recently.
Yes, to commemorate the East Indian commemoration of East Indian arrival. They had a large, it was a beautiful function here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you found the Indian High Commissioner?
It was. I would say that he has a very strong connection to the island and to what our mission is here in terms of spreading that message globally, and he has also pledged to offer support to us in developing the island. But he has a very keen interest in what we do here.
How did he react when he first visited this place?
Yeah, well, it was wonderful. He came and he kissed the ground. It was for me. I found it interesting to see that level of
When
passion.
he kissed the ground with
Yes.
us.
It was
That's-
like it was a holy sight to him and to his entourage. They were really they connect a lot with the spot, and we have a lot of persons that come here, like even my colleague here, because of his connection to the island. Sometimes he says he's here, he's dreaming, and he would see the ships appearing.
Oh my
Tell them that
God.
story.
Sometimes you sit down and you actually, your imagination goes, you see the wooden ships because you get the stories. You get the stories from your families come down. So it's like you're seeing it.
So you imagine all that,
Yeah,
scenario.
And I'm not the only person. Other people come, they would say they hear stories and they know certain things passed down. And they would also sit down and like reflect on it and all of that. So
Oh,
it's
that's
not-
great. That's
yeah.
great because that memories remain there,
Yeah.
for the history. And this is what is happening, because there is a lot of interest being generated, to have this whole Girmitia history
It's
also,
a magical place. It's a magical
Yeah.
place because it's a portal for the entire diaspora within the whole Western Hemisphere.
It's in fact, it's emerging as a worldwide movement with UNESCO. In fact, you should apply this for a UNESCO heritage site,
The work is in progress.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
We
that
have
kind of a
work in
thing.
progress.
So thank you very much, Kumi. Thank you very much.
And thanks for
It's
coming.
a real
Thanks.
pleasure, it's myself very emotional at this place, because I've been writing the history of indenture, along with my co-author, Dr. Sandy Maharaj. I'm there also. So I'm really, really touched. Thank you very much.
Yeah.